In the winter of 1979, my life had reached a low point. I was not sure which way I should turn or go. I could, at that point, see no future that held any joy for which to strive. I lay down to sleep one evening. I found myself in the most vivid dream one can imagine. In the dream, myself and my wife at that time and my two children were driving in the family station wagon on a desolate two-lane road in the desert southwest. Soon I recognized the road as a highway that runs through a town called Kayenta, Arizona. Just west of the small Navajo town lies the Black Mesa coal mine. But in between those two areas is a bit of crooked road with a splendid geological display that only northeast Arizona and Navajo land can deliver. As we drove, I recognized the Navajo Hogan on the north side of the road. I felt compelled to pull into it and stop. As we pulled off the dirt drive by the small dwelling, I saw two young Navajo women tending some sheep in the shaded area behind their home. I got out and asked if their parent were home. One spoke and said that their grandfather was here. At about that time, an old Navajo man stepped from the hogan, raised his hand in greeting. He had white hair pulled back into something that resembled a bun. His shirt was of a reddish color and seemed sulky. His trousers were of a somewhat gray color with a purplish ribbon down the outside of the leg, and he wore a low moccasin that seemed to have a silver-colored weave in them. His face was as carved as the mountains around him. He said to me, "Please come inside and eat with us. It is not often we have guests." I motioned my family to get out of the car and come inside, which we did. The meal was traditional: mutton with entrails and beans and large portions of fry bread and some jams or jellies I couldn't define. One of the ladies glanced at me and, as if reading my question, answered with an Indian name and berries. When the meal was over, I thanked the old man, and a thought came to my mind. I asked, "Grandfather, are there any of the ruins of the old people near here, the Anasazi?" He stood and looked at me and answered, "My son, there are some, but that is not why you're here. There is something I must show you, but your family must stay here. This is only for you." I answered in the affirmative that I would go with him, and we walked out of the hogan, and as you know, the hogans always face the east. We walked up a slight hill to the rim of a canyon. It was dusk by now, and the canyon was dark below us. He motioned me to follow him. As we descended into the dark walls of the canyon, almost unbelievably, it started to get much lighter, and on the walls were these murals painted in bright colors, almost like good photographs. The first were a very primitive man, a setting in a village. As we progressed, it was as if we were traveling in time. The pictures became more modern. First the conquistadors, then white pioneers and covered wagons, then the army, and there were great battles, and then a more modern time. The last picture was of an airplane crash, the wreckage and bodies scattered about. One of the things I remembered was that underneath these pictures were lists of names, many, many names, as if they were the people in the pictures. At that time we came to the doorway in the canyon wall. The old man, my guide, turned and spoke. "This is what you came to see. Are you ready?" I nodded yes. He opened the door and we stepped through. On the other side was a green garden with beautiful trees and flowers and manicured lawns and white sidewalks. The old man went ahead of me and motioned me on behind him. As we walked down the sidewalk, someone called out, "Good morning to you." And I looked down, and a small serpent crawled past me, ducking his head in a slight bow to me. I ducked my head as well. We approached this white building with glass windows and doors. It was filled with lots of people, all dressed in white suits or dresses, all very busy. I was in total wonder. We approached one of the glass doors that opened. We walked into a large room. We walked across that room to another doorway. The old man opened it and motioned me inside. As light and bright as the other room was, this was different. About half the room was painted like the forest, the ceiling domed with bright blue skies and puffy white clouds. The other half was drab and barren and earthy and dark. The old man walked me across the room. In a nook in the dark wall was a carved-in table. Around the edge of the table was a two-rail type fence. Inside the fence was a basin with a myriad of paints. The old man reached and took the brush, and he turned and spoke, and these were exact words burned into my mind all these years. "For a long time, there's been no one to paint the earth," he smiled, and handed me the brush. I woke with a start, and although the room was cold, my bedclothes were drenched with perspiration. I was as weak as a kitten and totally disoriented. I rose from bed and went to the bathroom and sat down at the toilet and began to sob, and then just cry and cry for what seemed like an hour. I never was able to sleep the rest of the night. I told several people about it, asking if anyone, what could it mean? I got several answers. I'd even go back to that place. There is no old man, nor is there a Hogan. The canyon is there, but it's empty. It touched my life, and years went by. I still haven't got the full message, but I found purpose, and if that was all it was, then it was enough. I just thought to share it with you, so that if you maybe you're down in life and don't know where to go, and an old Navajo man stepped into your path, follow him.